came here tonight to talk about, man, something that's near and dear to my heart because I'm looking back and I'm figuring out that with all the stuff that has transpired over the last couple of years, we still in the place where we need to try to fix some things. You feel me? When you say that you a nation, you know what I'm saying, that care about people and a nation of diversity, you know what I'm saying? You would think that the diversity would be equally spread over all races, but here we are again back having the conversation. And I know nobody don't want to have the conversation. So I have this conversation for you. You dig what I'm saying? So I know you want to know what I'm talking about. Let's dive right in. Okay. Here we are in 2021. And in 2021, we have a few situations going on around the world. You know, I'm talking about the situation in Afghanistan, as well as we want to talk about the situation that's going on in Haiti right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to speak about the differences in the response that comes along, uh, or the response that has been given to each situation. First and foremost, again, I wanted to say my heart goes out to both Haiti and to Afghanistan. You know that again, Afghanistan has been going on about 20 years now. You dig what I'm saying? And when I look back over this thing, man, and kind of think about what's going on in the world with Afghanistan, I saw something that really stood out to me about the support that was given to Afghanistan. Now I know you're gonna get a lot of people that say, okay, they was getting Americans out of Afghanistan. First, let's talk Taliban. You know, because I heard a statement made today by our president. ISIS may be different from the Taliban, and Al Qaeda is different from the Taliban. That's not how the thing was set up 20 years ago. You feel me? All level was Taliban, and then you had factions of Al Qaeda. You had factions of Al Qaeda, and ISIS was totally separate from the Taliban. So, what you have right now is a country that's under duress. You know that because if you're watching the news, you see a lot of the people uh, in Afghanistan wanted to get away from that particular country because of who's coming into power. That alone should tell you that there's something wrong or there's some kind of fear that has been instilled in these people from the Taliban, you know, or maybe somebody put out and connected them to the wrong group. But even with that being said, as I was watching the news, man, I saw that um, a military Air Force plane was getting ready to take off and leave Afghanistan. And the mission initially was to go in and get Americans out. But as they showed the images of people inside this plane, 700 people inside of this plane, they were flying out of Afghanistan, not knowing whether it was Taliban, Al Qaeda, or who was inside this plane. Uh, People flying out of the country without passports. Um, you don't know whether people have vaccines. If that was the case, you don't know whether people on the plane had COVID or what kind of issues the people had leaving. And I'm not saying that the effort should not be put forward to kind of get these people out of harm's way, you know. But you have to look back at the idea that you have people hanging on the side of an Air Force plane that's taking off in the air. Now, if you ever been to the airport, you know that you don't fly outside of the plane. You fly in the plane. You fly inside of the plane. But if you watch the news, you can clearly see that these people inside of this plane are okay, but there's people outside of this plane hanging on to the wings, hanging on to the wheels, trying to get in the plane. And as the plane is taking off, you can see images of people falling off of the plane 20, 30 feet in the air, 2, 3, 4 stories in the air. Feel it? And you hear governments around the world willing to allow this to happen. willing to allow the Taliban to take over Afghanistan, you know. And I've heard a lot of different explanations for the Taliban as a religious group. My question to that is, what religious group are you scared of, fear that much? You feel me? To where you're willing to risk your life and limbs trying to escape, you know. So when I look back at it, I was like, wow, it's crazy that this type of thing is going on, you know. After 20 years, and I heard someone say the almost 20-year anniversary of 9/11. You know, and with that being said, on 9/11, go back and check. There was all planes were grounded, but there was one plane full of Osama bin Laden's relatives and people from Afghanistan being flew out of the United States back to Afghanistan, and now we flying them in. We flying them in to military bases in this particular country, and also asking other countries to allow these people to be flown into those countries. You feel me? In the middle of a travel ban. You can't fly out of the country. How can you fly people into the country? You dig what I'm saying? So, as we looking at it, man, I switched my attention over to Haiti. And Haiti went through a earthquake, and there's a tropical storm bearing down on them. And even with those type of things happening, you don't hear about the assistance being given to Haiti. You don't hear about people flying in to assess what's going on in Haiti. You don't hear about Haiti on the news. It was a couple of days, and then all of a sudden, things just dissipated, and now nobody's talking about Haiti. But they're flying people from a whole nother country, not millions of miles away, but thousands of miles away, into the United States and putting them on military bases. Can you see the difference in what's going on in this particular country right now? In the middle of vaccine passports and things like that. But let me stay on track because I don't want to get off. That vaccine thing is totally different. It's for another day. But here we are, back to Afghanistan. The question is, what are you going to do to assist the people in Afghanistan that want to leave that country? That was the question that was posed to the president during his press conference today. And the president gave a guarantee that he was going to do everything within his power to make sure that whoever wanted to leave, and especially every American that wanted to leave could leave. And as crazy as it may sound, and as crazy as it may look, I find fault in the idea that you are not sending aid to a country that had a 7.5 magnitude earthquake crumble their buildings. Those people are in distress. And my question is, what are we going to do to assist the people in Haiti? Because we can already see what we're doing to assist the people in Afghanistan. We put them on flights. And for the past couple of days before today, people were flying out of that country without having to be checked by anything. It was like, after their paperwork is filed and after everything is checked out and everything is cleared, then they're able to leave. There's not enough time for that. When you got people flooding that airport on a daily basis, this is the This is where everybody is migrating to. You know what I'm saying? This is where everybody is rushing to because they know this is how they get away from Afghanistan. You know, this is where they're going. Airport is packed, overrun because people are expecting to be able to leave that country. You know what I'm saying? Leave that country, not Afghanistan, and go to another part of that country. Leave that country and come to America and other countries. You feel me? Which I find to be really, really interesting at this particular point. You know, that we are able to move people in and out of the country like that. You feel me? But you're not interested in moving people that are in distress in Haiti, which is much closer than Afghanistan. Not a military plane jet or anything else flew over to Haiti to assist those people. And you can go on the fly and say, hey, is it because of their skin color? Nobody knows that. You know what I'm saying? Is it fair to just assume that right now? That people are being neglected because of their skin color? That's not the way that should be. You know what I'm saying? That's not fair to say that. You know what I'm saying? Could it be insinuated? Yes, it can be insinuated. You could. Um, it's an island, and most of the people on there are of African descent, African Americans, whatever the case may be. You know, they surely don't resemble the people that are being flown out of Afghanistan right now. You know, and would you let them in if they could make it here? You know, would you let them in? Like, if you can't send airplanes, would you send boats to bring people in Haiti back from Haiti? I would say no, because when the other earthquake hit, the landslides and everything they went over there, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't much help there. You feel me? So this is not a conversation about whether or not it can be done. The conversation that we're having right now is about why isn't attention being given to Haiti? And if it is being given, why is it not being televised on a daily basis like they're televising Afghanistan and the Taliban taking over Afghanistan? I mean, you pulling the military troops out, so this can't be a situation where it's war. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, by all means and by all right, let's be clear about something. When I say pulling the military out of Afghanistan, hey, out of 20 years, man, yeah, after being deployed over and over and over again, yeah, it's time for those people to come home and reunite with their families. It's crazy that they have to come back and reunite with their families, considering what's going on in the United States right now. But it's fair for the military that's overseas to be pulled out of that country. You know, I would submit to you this that maybe they didn't have to be in Afghanistan that long. You feel me? The reason why they're being pulled out right now, one of the reasons that American troops are being pulled out of Afghanistan right now is because of the cost and that it takes the cost of living that they have to provide for those soldiers in Afghanistan. I think the number came up $300 million a day. Somebody calculated $1 trillion over the last 20 years, and somebody else calculated $2 trillion. That's a lot of money to be spent over 20 years. That could have been, you know, used on something else. So let's get back to the idea that in the world where the United States has an embassy everywhere. You know, you never heard when Haiti went through their particular situation with this earthquake. You never heard the United States say that they were going to uh, go and get the people from the U.S. embassy in Haiti. You never heard it, but you have heard them say that they were going to get the United States citizen, anyone who wanted to come back from the United States embassy in Afghanistan. And now, not only have they brought the are moving the United States citizens back to this country, they're bringing people from Afghanistan with them. You feel me? And as you sit here today with me and contemplate what's really going on in the world, you feel me? If there's duress and there's stress and people are in need of help, and this country is very helpful, you know what I'm saying, at helping people in need. Again, I want to say, Haiti, my heart goes out to you because I don't see the help uh, being given to you like it's being given in other places. Um, I will submit to you this here while I'm doing that. Uh, Puerto Rico went through a situation similar to Haiti, and they're still waiting on proper aid for the situation they went through. But Puerto Rico is a whole nother subject. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I really want to get into and talk about, but we're still on Afghanistan. And what is the deal that was cut with Afghanistan and the Taliban, where the Taliban is taking over the country and allowing its citizens to be evacuated from the country? It almost looked like an evacuation is happening. You know what I'm saying? Like America and these other countries are the summit for these people to be able to travel to. You dig what I'm saying? America is the summit for these people to be able to migrate to. And the country where there is I don't even know if there's enough room here for all the Americans that are here. Honestly, you feel me? It obviously can't be because there's a lot of homeless people going on. But again, that's another subject for another time. What we're talking about here is, and you can inbox me this video and let me know why. Why is the aid and assistance not being divided equally amongst both situations? You feel me? Because we are sure that America can handle both situations effectively. You know what I'm saying? Without uh, hurting either situation. You have people who have went through a 7.5 magnitude hurricane earthquake, a 7.5 magnitude earthquake, and they showed on the news repeatedly that citizens of a country where the Taliban already existed, and on the eve of 9/11, we're about 2 weeks out from it, maybe a week out from the eve of 9/11, the anniversary of 9/11 now, that we are looking at the Taliban coming forward to reclaim their country. And the United States is pulling military soldiers out of that country. On top of that, I think the idea with military soldiers being there so long was to train the Afghani people to defend themselves. And I mean, I don't see any defense going on anywhere. You feel me? I don't see any defense going on anywhere. It's almost like They got training and they joined the Taliban. What it looked like. As well as this. Did you see the president of Afghanistan when the takeover first happened? Get on the plane and fly out of the country. Fly out of the country on his plane, and nobody's heard from him since. That's the truth. You know what I'm saying? So while we sit here, man, and contemplate where we're at in the world, I just want to come on tonight and speak a few minutes about this particular subject because I am perplexed and confused at what's going on right now, man. You know what I'm saying? Is there not help for everyone? You did? Is there not help for everyone? Is it not? I just need to know that because I'm watching two different situations and I'm watching a different response for each situation. And you don't want to really bring race into it. And you don't really want to talk about how unfair it is. But this thing has to be spoken. And sometimes you have to speak the truth. And my truth is this. I see two situations going on in the world right now. One started before the other. And I've been watching the news. And trust me, I get up all the time and watch the news because I want to be informed about what's going on in this world. Whether you feel like it's fake news or whatever you feel like, you know what I'm saying? You said it, we watch and we pick and choose what we want to hear, the positive, and we try to avoid the negative in this particular world concerning the news and current events and what's going on. But at this particular point, we have to come to the realization that it's either fair or unfair, and you have to call a spade a spade. And what this is, in my opinion, because I want to make sure that I say, in my opinion, what's going on in the world right now is a little bit lopsided when it comes down to Afghanistan and Haiti. And again, like I said earlier on in this particular episode, Haiti is much closer. Haiti is much closer. And in my opinion, Haiti is in need much more than Afghanistan. And somebody's going to disagree, but I just wanted to make sure that I say that. I think Haiti is in much more need of some assistance right now. I think that they can really use the idea of somebody covering what's going on in Haiti right now. They spoke about it for, it wasn't even big news. They came on like social media or something like that, and they may have been on the news for a day. And then they kind of dissipated and nobody has said anything about it or spoke about it or said what's going on in Haiti or if the situation is getting better or anything. All you see right now is the news being flooded with the evacuation of people in Afghanistan that have been living in Afghanistan all of their life. Feel me? And I'm not telling you right now that they should not be evacuated if they're not. They shouldn't be evacuated if they're in danger. Yeah, I believe that they should be evacuated if they're in danger. What I'm saying is this. Where there's a need, there should be some help. And when you're looking at Haiti and the 7.5 magnitude hurricane, I'm sorry, I keep saying hurricane, the storm that they will have the tropical storm as well. Okay. When I think about the need in Haiti right now, and you don't see or hear that there's any aid or assistance being given to Haiti, but you can clearly see on the TV and on the news that people in Afghanistan And somebody's going to say Haiti. The people in Haiti have been living in their lives in that country all their lives, and that's true. They have. But Afghanistan is being uh, taken over by the Taliban, who has been in their country forever. And there's true fear there. So there definitely needs to be attention given on that. And I'm not speaking against that. All I'm saying is this: while you're doing that, take a look at uh, Haiti at the bottom of Florida, at the south of Florida, at the south of the United States. Take a look at Haiti, over there recovering from a earthquake and what's going to be a tropical storm going over there. While buildings are crumbled and people are outside, I'm sure of it. The people are without the basic needs that you need to survive. You don't have to go and evacuate anyone if that's not your idea, but some attention needs to be given to Haiti as well. And if necessary, people needing to be flown out to get to safety or to be able to sleep comfortably and live without stress until they're able to get back and begin to rebuild that country. That's what necessarily needs to be done. It can't all be about Afghanistan. You dig what I'm saying? So you already know how I do, man. I wanted to get on and say that. And I want to say again to everybody who's listening, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for supporting this particular podcast and the things that I'm trying to do with this podcast. I'm trying to educate, elevate, and inspire my people to go to greater heights. So, with that being said, man, I was going to do an hour. I cut it down to uh, half an hour. So, here we go. Coming to the end of it, man. I appreciate you for checking in. I appreciate y'all for listening in. I'm going to have it up, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Inbox me, man. I went live on Facebook. I went live on YouTube. This is going to be up to all your major podcast providers. I'm not cutting anything out, and I'm not going to apologize for anything that I said. I said what I said. You know what I'm saying? So until you open your eyes and see me again, I'll be watching you, watching me, as I watch them watch me, and I watch them watch you. It's your boy, Mr. I See What You're Doing, man. And as always, take God with you wherever you go, and I see what you're doing. I'm out. Never too late in the evening, man, to get down. I see you watching me as I watch you, as I watch them watch me. It's your boy, Mr. I See What You're Doing, and this is the I See What You're Doing podcast. Let's get into it. Now, I see you watch me as I watch.